Okay, the next loop I want to go over is the H-block style TXV system. So if you guys watch some videos I posted on there, it's a really common setup for air conditioning systems these days. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to put my AC comp. That's where I always want to start. And then I'm always going to go to my AC condenser. The unique thing is in the orifice tube setup, we have our storage tank on the low side. So in a TXV of any kind, you're going to have your RD storing hot liquid. So that's a big unique differences between these two. The next guy we got to put in is that H-block. And then I'm going to squeeze the evap over here. We'll put it on the side. Do a quick little illustration, a couple things here. Well, we'll leave the compressor out. So, here we go, same loop. So same thing happening here is we have high pressure, high temperature gas going into the condenser at the top every time. It's gonna cool down. Hopefully your fan's working right. Make sure your fan's working good before you get too much into your diagnosis, but I'm gonna just shove the outlet coming into here. We're gonna go into the top of the receiver dryer, and if you've seen that video, I've got ones that are vertically mounted, ones that are inline, kind of horizontally mounted. So once we've gone through the condenser, we're cooled down. That is high pressure, high temperature liquid. So basically the principles behind this receiver dryer is very similar to the AD, just in the fact that it's storing liquid on the high side. So basically that compressor is pushing liquid through this can into this tube coming out, into the H-block. Now from here is where we need to switch colors, because the H-block is basically going to slowly meter in. Imagine that there's just a little, almost like a little push rod, not a push rod, what am I saying? Like a little metering valve in your carburetor. It's just gonna lift up and close and meter in that refrigerant into the evaporator. So there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. One thing we gotta add on here is that we have not changed our state at all after we've gone out of the receiver dryer. So we're still high pressure, high temperature, liquid. Now things have changed. We are fine-tuning our charge into our evaporator by a moving valve. So the orifice tube does not move, it's in line, it's stuck in there. This is low pressure, low temperature gas. Excuse me, woo! Low pressure, low temperature liquid. Okay, so we're metering that in there. Coming out of this should never be liquid, okay? So that is low pressure, low temperature gas. Also going back to the compressor is low pressure, low temperature gas. So really inside this cavity, it's just a little tiny hole that the refrigerant passes through. It's touching this capillary tube that basically this diameter is going to push down to either close this, not completely close, but partially close the inlet. And say we need more refrigerant, basically the temperature coming out of the evaporator is going to determine the length and or the hole diameter of the refrigerant going into the evaporator. So pretty clean setup. Remember that we still have high pressure switch of some sort in here. High pressure switch. We're also got to have our port somewhere. Remember, our port can be after this. It can be in between all three of these components, so it doesn't really matter. You're usually finding them most time before and after the comp. So this will be high pressure port. Then from there, we have, we need to put in our low pressure port. So ideally, we'll just put it over here. Low LP port, low pressure port. So in those videos, you'll see like the evaporator and that H-block pretty close. They're almost married together. There's just a tiny short set of hoses in here. So we really need to keep those guys close to each other. But this is your general H-block TXV loop. Thanks guys, thanks for watching.